Conflict has a way of hijacking us. One minute you're fine, the next your pulse is climbing, your jaw is tightening, and you're replaying what the other person just said with a slightly more dramatic tone than they probably used. Staying calm during conflict isn't about becoming emotionless or passive. It's about keeping control of your inner state so you can respond deliberately rather than react instinctively. And that's a skill, one you can build. The first thing to understand is that conflict triggers the nervous system. Your brain reads disagreement as a potential threat. It doesn't matter whether you're arguing with a partner, handling criticism at work, or navigating tension with a friend. The body often reacts before the mind is caught up. Heart rate rises, breathing becomes shallow, thoughts become sharper and less generous. If you don't recognize this as a physiological response, you may assume your intensity is justified. In reality, you're flooded. Calm begins with awareness. The moment you notice the shift, heat in your chest, urgency in your voice, a strong desire to interrupt, you have an opportunity. You don't need to suppress what you're feeling. You just need to slow the escalation. A simple technique is to focus on your breathing, lengthening the exhale slightly longer than the inhale. This small adjustment signals safety to your nervous system. It creates just enough space between stimulus and response to choose your next words carefully. Another powerful shift is to reframe the purpose of the conversation. In conflict, we often switch into win mode. We defend, justify, or attack because we want to protect our position. But most conflicts are not debates to be won. They are misunderstandings to be clarified. If you approach the interaction with curiosity rather than combat, the emotional temperature lowers. Instead of thinking, how do I prove I'm right, try asking, what might I be missing? That single question can soften your tone and open the door to resolution. It also helps to separate identity from opinion. When someone challenges your viewpoint, it can feel like they are challenging you as a person. That's rarely true. Disagreement is not rejection. If you internalize every difference as a threat to your worth, you will naturally react defensively. Building a stable sense of self, one that doesn't crumble under criticism, is essential. This deeper foundation is explored in our guide on how to be calm and confident, because true calm in conflict rests on internal security, not clever phrasing. Language matters too. The words you choose can either inflame or soothe. Absolutes such as "you always" and "you never" push people into defense. Instead, speak from your own experience. "I felt overlooked when that happened" lands very differently from "you ignored me." One invites dialogue, the other invites counterattack. Staying calm is not about being silent. It's about expressing yourself without escalating the situation. Timing can also make or break a difficult exchange. If emotions are running high, it is entirely reasonable to pause. Saying, "I want to talk about this properly, but I need 10 minutes to clear my head," is not avoidance. It is emotional maturity. Stepping away briefly prevents words you can't take back and allows your rational thinking to return. The key is to come back to the conversation once you've steadied yourself. It's worth remembering that the other person's reaction is not fully within your control. You can regulate your own tone, posture, and language, but you cannot force someone else to respond calmly. Accepting this reduces frustration. Your job is to manage your side of the exchange. If you remain steady while the other person escalates, you provide an anchor rather than fuel. Often calm is contagious. There's also something deeper at play. Repeated emotional reactivity in conflict often signals unresolved triggers. Perhaps you fear being disrespected, ignored, or misunderstood. When those fears are activated, the reaction can be disproportionate to the situation. Noticing patterns in your responses can be transformative. Ask yourself, what am I really reacting to here? Sometimes the answer has little to do with the present moment and more to do with past experiences. The more insight you develop, the less automatic your reactions become. Confidence plays a quiet but powerful role. When you trust yourself, you don't feel the need to dominate a conversation. You can tolerate disagreement. You can admit uncertainty. You can say, "I hadn't considered that. That kind of composure isn't weakness. it's strength. If you find that conflict consistently unsettles you, building overall emotional resilience may be the missing piece. Strengthening your broader foundation of calm confidence makes it far easier to navigate tense moments without losing your balance. Finally, perspective is your ally. Most conflicts are temporary. They feel urgent and intense in the moment, but rarely do they define the whole relationship or situation. Asking yourself, will this matter in a week, in a year, can instantly reduce the perceived stakes. When the stakes feel lower, your nervous system relaxes. And when you are relaxed, you think more clearly and speak more thoughtfully. Staying calm during conflict is not about perfection. You will still feel frustration, disappointment, or anger at times. The goal is not to eliminate emotion, but to handle it wisely. With awareness, controlled breathing, careful language, and a strong internal foundation, you can move through disagreements with steadiness rather than volatility. And each time you manage a difficult conversation without losing control, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling tension with strength and grace. That belief, more than any technique, is what ultimately keeps you calm.